Hello, it is Susan at Seaside Stitches and welcome to my channel. This is my channel where I talk about lots of things that are, I was going to say all things sewing, but today I've not got a great deal to talk about in actual sewing, but I can talk about some kind of sewing related things. So I hope that's okay and I hope you'll stay with me. If you do like the video, it'd be great if you give it a thumbs up, and subscribing would be wonderful. You would hit me over the 2,050,000 million 1,299 subscribers. Okay, I'll start again. Yes, so since my last video, which was talking about, I showed you my stash. In the last two videos I showed you all of my stash, my dressmaking stash, apart from two pieces of fabric that I'd forgotten all about. I have two plain fabrics. One is a purple, I think it's polyester crepe, it's about 3 meters still of that, and I have a piece that's about 1.5 meters of a lovely blue, I don't really know what it is, but it may be polyester twill, but it's really lovely, and it would kind of make a nice smart skirt anyway, but I haven't got a lot of it. And I did mention last time about special fabrics. Now I know that Whitney at Tomcat Stitchery is doing there's a month-long vlog tour about working with your precious fabric. So I think it's hashtag precious fabric or hashtag precious fabrics, I'm not quite sure, but there is a vlog tour for that. I'm not part of that, but I did mention my special fabrics, and I was changing that to relate it to precious fabrics because sometimes they're too precious to actually cut into. But thinking about it, none of them are actually precious, so precious to me that I'm frightened of spoiling them. I may be frightened of spoiling them because I've got them and because I really like them, but they're not that precious. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit different in the way I'm thinking of special fabrics and precious. Something that was so precious to me, it would be, oh my goodness, if I mess that up. I don't feel like that about any of my fabrics. So maybe I don't qualify for that. I don't know. Those special fabrics that I shared. So I'm just going to leave that there. And if you'd like to check those, there will be, I can leave links below to those two because they kind of follow on from each other. Okay, so what I want to talk to you today is, this is a Friday Sews. Now for the last 3 or 4 Friday Sews, I have not done an official type of Friday Sews, which is where we sit and we chat to you about what we've been sewing and a little bit about life. And what I seem to have been doing is standing about showing you this and showing you that and telling you about this and telling you about that and getting even more of this and yes, so I haven't had a relaxed sit down Friday Sew. So today I wanted to tell you about what's been going on with us, and I did manage to get really well on with tidying my sewing room. Some of you who haven't been with me before will not know that we are planning a move relatively soon, well in the next year. Things are in the lap of the gods in terms of planning and things like that, but we're very fortunate in that our family, our son and daughter-in-law, are welcoming us to their property, but we're not all living together. We're having an annex on their property. So that could take the form of a log cabin, which we think that's what we're having. And so it's all very exciting, and it just means we need to sell our house. So we've been doing the history is we've been doing quite a lot of downsizing, we've been doing a lot of decluttering, been rearranging my sewing room so that we can present this room as the double bedroom that it should be. So if you've been with me on that journey for the last 3 or 4 videos, that's where we're up to. This room is now as neat and tidy as I can get it in terms of sewing things. I have more things to declutter that are in here, but other than that I'm really satisfied. I did do a tiny bit of sewing because we've been on holiday as well. So not exactly holiday, we had a lovely visit from my son and daughter-in-law and for a weekend, and then they asked us would we mind going and never know whether to say cat sitting or house sitting, but we were house sitting for only five or six nights, and then we stayed for a few more days to spend some time with them, and then we went on a little adventure, which I'll talk about in another video, because that's just a kind of more related to us moving than it is about sewing. So we had a lovely time down there, getting to know the place a lot better, and we went to Aylesbury, we went to Tring, we didn't do Milton Keynes, which we were thinking of doing. We did Leighton Buzzard and Berkhamsted, and I think that's about it. They live in rural Dunstable, so that's near the Dunstable Downs and near Whipsnade Zoo, if anyone is from Bedfordshire or knows that area. So it was lovely just to do a bit of exploring on our own and feel a bit more confident about where places are, how we would get to places, etc., etc. And when we went to Tring one morning, which is quite a nice little town village, and I spotted in quite a traditional hardware shop, so traditional in fact, it would have met some of the script from the Ronnie Barker series, the two Ronnies series, where they go into I'm going to call it a haberdashery then. I'm a bit fixated on haberdashery. Hardware. So it was a hardware shop, and they had all drawers in the wall and things, and very old fashioned, and also some modern stuff. And it was really like stepping back in time into something where someone would ask for, can I have 4 candles? Which, if you know about that, you know. So anyway, but in the window of that, weirdly, they had one window that was really full of all hardware things, items, building things, paintwork, decor, all sorts of things. And then in the other window, I spotted a blouse. There were some garments in the window. And in my memory, I spotted this blouse just kind of hanging there among all these hardware items. Now, when we went a few days later to go and look at this blouse and possibly try it on and see, or if they had any other sizes in it, whatever, I realised that the window was fully all garments, but that one was the only one I'd focused on. So I'll drop a picture in, because I did go and I did try it on. He did get it out of the window for me, and it's a vintage shop. I didn't realise what it was. It's upstairs at the back, and they've got a full floor of vintage clothing, and a very nice young man, and whose business it was, and he was very helpful, and I tried on this blouse. Now, when you see me in this blouse, I'll leave it up for a little while, and I'm probably just talking about it now as you are looking at these amazing sleeves. And there's so many big puff sleeves about, and you know, I'm 71 now, because a few weeks ago I was still only 70, but now I'm 71, and I don't really use that as a bar for what I can wear. I wear what I want. And I was curious. It wasn't exactly my colouring, but it was me. If you see it, you'll know it was me if you've watched my videos before. So I did try it on, and I did like the idea of it, and I did like the puff sleeves of it, and also it came in at the waist and kind of went out as a faux peplum, and I really liked it. And it put me in mind of that blue jacket that I'm trying to make, that I keep putting on one side, that was an ME. I want to call it 6029, but all those numbers might be mixed up, so I'll put it on the screen. I liked it, but it was tight on the waist, but it was really big. I don't mean like it was just because of the shoulders. It did have shoulder pads, but it was big up here. It was a 14, but I think it was a 14 graded to a 10, because it was, but I could have maybe moved that button or something, but it wasn't right as a fit. And it was £42, and do you know what? I would have thought that was quite expensive, but I would have bought it if it had been just right for me. So I'm now on a little mission to look at how I can replicate that sleeve, because as you'll see, it's kind of it's a puff sleeve, and it's a bit gathered, and it may have one of those, like a liner in, that's a straight sleeve, that, what do you call that, like a puff ball. but it's the elegance of the fact that it comes down. I did really like it. And so that's the only style thing and sewing related thing in a way. But the dress that I went down in was my very first Pattern Emporium Take the Chance dress. And I really do love that. It's very, very floaty. And I had also been very brave and decided I would wear a kind of trainer with a short sock, you know, a trainer sock. And it's not really my thing, it's not my style, it's not my vibe at all, but it's one way of having my feet covered in this potentially inclement weather every day that we've been having, that we're all moaning about in this country. And so I'd done that, and I wore it with this dress, and I really felt really nice, not because of the shoot or anything, but that's just to explain that why when we arrived at our son and daughter-in-laws, because we had half a day with them before they went the day after, and the boys were on the trampoline and they were showing me their new trampoline, Grandma. And what did Grandma do? Grandma got on the trampoline and she had a go. And I'm going to share with you that my Take the Chance dress took a chance and tried a sit drop on the trampoline. And I actually did get better. The few that are not photographed, of course I could say that, couldn't I? But I did get better. I still couldn't get up from one, but I did get better. I got more confident. I got more that I could actually swirl my arms about rather than being a little bit fluttering like a fledgling something or other. But that's why I'm on there with a pair of socks on. And when I showed my sister yesterday, she said, "You look like a little girl." So I didn't mind that at all. It was funny. So I'm so glad that I didn't persist after about 3 or 4 more attempts, because during the night my coccyx was absolutely... you forget that you are 71, that your bones are 71 years old, and they haven't been on a trampoline for, I don't know, 30 or 40 years, and really you shouldn't be doing it. So that's just my little snippet of something that happened while I was wearing me-made clothes. And otherwise I took other me-mades with me and I just had a lovely time. We went to Aylesbury. I think that's where the photograph was taken, down a side street where it was on the site of the old workhouse, and there was a plaque on the wall. You probably won't be able to read it, but it was some of the work that people were put to was making lace. So it was just, I just felt that was relevant somehow. So I think I'm in my Yasmin dress by Sinclair Patterns. I can't really remember, but I will pop a picture in. So really that's mostly all that's sewing related, apart from I'm really pleased that I've got my sewing room much more ordered now. So I think I'm going to leave you there really. I don't want to keep you when I'm not talking about sewing. If there's anything I think of, I'll just pop back on and add it to it or re-edit it. And here we have a more organised workspace. So there's still things on the table and under the table, and that's fine. We've been away, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and this is how I left it. The pillowcases are on here because that's how I show the bed when I dress it for when the agents come. And that's for downstairs anyway. But it's just to keep things separate and clean, and so I don't have to re-iron things by laying things out. So that's that, and this is no different. This is just as it was. I've just got my dress up there that I took on holiday with me. It had a bit of excitement when it was away, and I'll share a little video of that. And I just brought her up because I'm just going to match the sleeve length to the green dress and finally sort the green sleeves out. Okay, so that's that. So just for now, thank you for being with me. Thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing. Thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for setting up this lovely hashtag of hashtag FridaySews. It means lots of people who create and want to share what they create or talk about things that they'd like to create can be found on YouTube via this hashtag. And there's lots and lots of us, and you've got so much choice. I just want to share that I am aware that I'm really lucky that you've actually popped into me today. What I'm wearing is an S8875. It's one I've had for a long time. That's maybe 3 years, I don't know. Haven't worn it for a little while. People will be fed up of me talking about it, but I had a digestive problem. I had to go on a special eating regime. I've lost some weight, and so when I put it on at first a few weeks ago, it just hung on me and it's getting nearer and nearer to the floor. It does have a frill on the bottom, so I may take a little bit off the frill, but you never know, I may go up again soon. So yeah, and it's lovely with the jumper on because I can wear it. I wear it all year round, and it had been my most worn dress, my most chosen dress, but given that it had been a bit loose and I gave it a miss. So anyway, I'm really pleased to be wearing it, and I'd like to thank, oh gosh, I've forgotten her name. It'll come to me, but I won't make you wait. I'll just write it on the screen. Anyway, I was watching her video yesterday and spotted that she had her dress on in this, and it reminded me. So hers was from Jenny Stitches. My fabric was from Fabrics at Fleetwood. I don't think either of them have it anymore, but it's a lovely print, and it just is really, I get lots of compliments about how joyous it is. So when I'm out, so I thought I'd wear it now, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through a stack of all my mum's paperwork that we've still got from when she passed away in 2019, and she'd lived with us for around 2 years with Alzheimer's. So I'm going to go through that and get rid of things we don't need, and I'm carrying on my decluttering journey. So I hope you're all getting in some sewing time. I hope the weather, and I just hope life has been treating you well. And thank you ever so much for dropping by. It's great. I'm really appreciative. If you do drop a comment, please, I do really enjoy reading your comments. I just have some block about being able to answer them. That's another job. That's going to be my Saturday job. I'm going to go through all my comments. I'm going to be really focused, and I'm going to answer everyone. And I just want to tell you, thank you everyone who has ever commented on my videos. Okay, that's enough from me. Bye for now. Happy sewing. Susan at Seaside Stitches signing off. Bye for now.